very good afternoon to all our viewers. Welcome to today's news updates at 1 with me, Eunice Mutua. Now on to our first story. Former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, Wiper Party leader Kalonzo Musyoka, and Eugene Wamalwa of DAP Kenya have vowed to structure a strong political force that will dethrone William Ruto from the presidency come 2027. The leaders have labeled Ruto's administration a one-man show, claiming he's deceiving Kenyans and pursuing corrupt projects. The leaders have hinted at discussions involving NARC Kenya Party leader Martha Karua and former Interior CS Fred Matiang'i.
Sirutaketi. And we must not let the people of Kenya down. People are asking, wewe, wananiambia, wewe Rigathi, tenda tafuta marafiki. Kama huyu mtu ametuumiza namna hii first term, kwa bahati mbaya akirudi second term, tutakuwa tunavaa vinyasa. Sasa nyinyi tafuta marafiki, mtafute formula.
We will not leave anybody out. And as I said, there are others coming in. As we speak, you do not see, of course, Jubilee Secretary General here, Kioni. I believe we are all together. Let's not leave out anybody. This is the matter, because then you will give opportunity to Zakayo kuanza kusema wamegawanyika.
That we are starting a new journey. We are opening a new chapter. The formation of a new coalition that is going to form the next government of the Republic of Kenya.
Fred Matiang'i called me from where he is. Na wale ambao hawajui, amepewa kazi na World Bank kule Latin America, ambaye alikuwa amepatiwa agreement. Sasa ameamua atawachilia hiyo kazi, atarudi Kenya na yeye atakuja kukuwa na hawa ndugu wetu. Ukiangalia hii maneno ya affordable housing, it is the worst fraud against the people of Kenya. And it's good today I tell the country, and those are things he was telling me to go to TV to defend. I told him I will not. Mimi pia nikichwa ngumu. Alienda kwenu siku 6. Kwetu he was there 6 days out of 7 every week. Hakuna kanisa hajaingia. Hakuna barabara hajui kwa jina. Hakuna soko hajui kwa jina. And you would memorize, you are very impressed. Anataja barabara, wakikuyu wanasema These men called a community.
Still on matters politics, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has hit out at President William Ruto, urging him to be truthful and tell Kenyans what led to their fallout. Gachagua, who was speaking during the unveiling of DAP Kenya new headquarters in Nairobi, says his differences with President Ruto emerged when he asked Ruto to stick to the Kenya Kwanza agenda that propelled them into the office.
President William Ruto could not agree me to stay in government because I could not agree to corruption. So, anaenda pale Western, anasema tumefukuza huyu Rigathi Gachagua and he is corrupt. William Ruto, my friend, do you have the moral authority to talk about corruption? And we sympathize with you because juzi kumekuwa na opinion poll on the most corrupt person in the world. And we are unhappy that you are rigged. Instead of giving you number 1, they gave you number 2. Kwa nataka tuende ku-launch barabara na anajua hakuna budget. Tukitoka Matinga inafanya nini? I was a lone voice in cabinet telling him, listening to the people of Kenya, they will not accept this finance bill. All those ministers you see there, they are flower girls. I was the only man in that cabinet who could stand up and tell him, hey boss, no. PS wa housing. Ukitaka kujenga affordable housing, you must go and sign a subcontract na kampuni ile tauza simiti na chuma na mabati. Na hiyo kampuni watu wale wakubwa zaidi Kenya wako ndani ya wapi?
Chief Justice Martha Koome is warning the management of Kenya's electoral process will determine the future of the country's democracy. Justice Koome advised the newly sworn-in selection panel of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission to protect itself from outside influences that could jeopardize the integrity of the elections in 2027. The Chief Justice stated that the reconstitution of the polls body was delayed by 2 years due to competing political interests, which she claimed deprived some Kenyans of their right to representation. Here is the story.
President William Ruto could not agree me to stay in government because I could not agree to
This is why your task is of the utmost significance to Kenyans. I know you will be put under pressure. There will be influence of partisan interests. You must resist all those and seek to delay this process.
I, Koki Muligrinyo.
The commissioners you appoint must be individuals of untainted credibility, committed to independence, impartiality, and the principles enshrined in our Constitution.
Having been appointed as a member of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Selection Panel,
Adams Olo.
And history has shown us that when elections are free, fair, and transparent, our country flourishes. However, when they are mismanaged, the consequences are severe, threatening national unity and public trust.
The Law Society of Kenya and the Kenya National Commission on Human Rights are calling for Inspector General of Police Douglas Kanja to provide 2 men who are missing, Stephen Kavingo and Kelvin Muthoni, following allegations of their abduction in December. During the case hearing, LSK contended in their submission that it is the responsibility of the National Police Service to provide information regarding the location of the 2. Senior Counsel Martha Karua and the KNCHR, who are interested parties in the case, stated that the state is fully aware of abductions.
We are trying to establish the modus operandi.
The respondents before you today have failed to comply with those court orders. We still do not have answers, and the duty bearers have failed to produce the 2 petitioners before this honorable court. My Lord, the only way to ensure the safety of these 2 petitioners, where their current whereabouts are unknown, is that we must hold the duty bearers accountable.
Mambo ya abduction tutakomesha, ndio vijana wa Kenya waweze kuishi kwa amani na vile wawe na nidhamu.
This I don't know, coming from the respondents.
Yes.
It's not true, because the entire state, up to the highest level, if you, my Lord, denies us that footage, then we cannot be able to make robust submissions, especially in the face of refusal by the duty bearers to come to the court and say, this is what is happening.
The Commission also believes that the state is responsible for these abductions, and the National Police Service and the 9th respondent should be held accountable.
The Council of Governors can now breathe a sigh of relief after resolving a dispute with the Controller of Budget, Margaret Nyakango, and reaching an agreement with the national government to continue issuing bursaries. The Budget Controller had prevented county governments from distributing bursaries, asserting that this was the duty of the national government. During a meeting chaired by the Deputy President, Professor Kithure Kindiki, both parties agreed that counties with education funds should continue dispersing them, while those without must partner with the Ministry of Education. Here is the story.
That is it. There are actually counties that have tried to disburse and have not been able to as a result of that circular. So we hope that we'll also have an agreement on that, which unlocks the funding for bursaries so that kids can go back to school.
We have some differences of opinion around the issue of education support by county governments. It is normal for us to have differences of opinion on a matter.
The element in the room for the governors today really is the County Government's Additional Allocation Act for the year 24-25, which is yet to be passed.
Committed to look for the earliest opportunity next week where we can convene the various actors, mainly county governments and parliamentary leadership, to resolve the issue of county government's additional allocations. I think we still have some outstanding issues around disbursement. We can again make sure that counties receive the funds they require to be able to carry out their functions.
On to some regional news. The claims by the M23 rebel group regarding their capture of Goma, the capital of North Kivu in the DRC, have instigated a significant displacement wave, worsening an already critical humanitarian crisis and heightening concerns about a broader regional conflict. This occurs in the wake of a demand from the UN Security Council for M23 to cease its offensive and for all external forces in the region to pull out as tensions intensify. President William Ruto, in his role as a chair of the East African Commission, has urged for an immediate ceasefire and announced a forthcoming summit to tackle the escalating crisis.
Tunakimbia vita, masasi na mabombe. Tuko hapa, hatujua kama hapa ni wapi. Tushakosa makimbilio kama tukimbilie wapi. Tuko nje hapa, hatuna na kwa kulala, ngizi tuko hapa. Tunakosa kama tufanye nini.
We will be convening an extraordinary East African Community Summit within the next 48 hours to facilitate and to deliberate on this crisis and chart a way forward.
Regret that this meeting is taking place.
Roads are blocked and the airport can no longer be used for evacuation or humanitarian efforts. M23 has declared the airspace over Goma closed. In other words, we are trapped.
The second edition of the Football Kenya Federation Youth League Championship wrapped up on Sunday at various locations nationwide, featuring a total of 786 teams in this year's competition. The tournament showcased various teams from 3 distinct age categories: under 13, under 15, and under 17, for both boys and girls. In Nairobi, the Kayole Starlets won the under 15 titles, while Kakamega County's Green Commanders triumphed in the under 15 boys categories. Nakuru United secured the under 17 boys title, and the Turkana Warriors celebrated their victory in the Turkana Center as they claimed the same title.
Anafunga. Kitu tunafaa tufanye nini tukue tunaifanya often. Tusikuwe tunaifanya alafu tunaiwacha, kwa sababu hii ndio stage poa ya kunacha players na kuonesha direction ya kwenda kucheza professional football.
Of course, the first thing we must appreciate is the platform it's giving the players and the continuity that we're having by having running games throughout the time, and of course the skill set that we're able to witness. Remember, this year especially we're going to have a lot of age grade competitions for under 15, under 17, for under 15 for schools, under 17 World Cup qualifiers, under 17 AFCON qualifiers for men, under 20 AFCON qualifiers for the girls. So it's very important to have events like this, because they give us like a platform to keep scouting talent throughout the.
We have come to the end of our news updates today. You are with me, Eunice Mutua. Do have a good afternoon.